I have crafted this guide to help you to avoid these common mistakes while building your app that not only survives but thrives in today's market. And I will share the 7 secrets that every successful founder must know. You interested to know that? Let's dive in the video. These secrets will help you to avoid the common pitfalls and build an app that people love, and most importantly, create something that lasts. Developing an app is not a small thing. You pour your months of efforts and thousands of dollars into your app only to see it crash and burn because of these avoidable mistakes. Sounds terrifying, right? Do you know that over 67% of users uninstall the app because of poor design and functionality? Keep in mind, poor design and functionality. Let me give you an example of Sarah. He spent $200K onto building their fitness app. She's very confident that his app will definitely gonna to make a new thing in the market. But what happened, after 2 weeks, 70% of users uninstall the app, citing bugs, confusing interface. There is a lot of things that happen to the app. And do you know what meant for Sarah? She not only lost his credibility, and recovering from that is very difficult. For every overnight success like Instagram, Uber, there is thousands of apps that fail because of they overlook the basics. You cannot afford these kinds of mistakes, and that's why I'm diving into the solutions. A proven strategies that we have been made after working with hundreds of founders, hundreds of startups that we have been made. And in this video, I'm gonna to reveal that 7 secrets for you that will save your time, energy, and money. These tips you can implement right now, no matter where you are in your app building journey. Knowing your audience. It's simple. If you don't understand who you are building for, your app will fail. You must know who your ideal customer, how much they pay, and how you will get the money. Take an example of Netflix. They didn't create just streaming platform. They know their user preferences and their users so deeply that even if they create a thumbnail, they know which kind of thumbnail user will click. So according to that, they created so simplified UI UX. That's why they are dominating the market from any other OTT platform. So who are your users and what keep them awake at a night? Building their needs, not your assumption. So you have to dig deep and answer all these questions thoroughly. It's your MVP. That is a very important thing, is your minimum viable product. To understand this, let me tell you a quick story. WhatsApp isn't started as we think today. They simply started within a messaging app. They created their UI UX so simplified, and they only focus only onto the one thing, that is a messaging and photo sharing. And that's why they got 100 million users just 2 years. So don't try to build a perfect app. Start with a minimum viable product. And it's as simple as possible, as simple version that can solve only one single problem. That is a simple version of your app that solves only one big problem at a time, and let users guide the rest. Design. That is a very important thing. Remember, design is everything. And in today's market, design is something that makes the difference. Have you ever opened an app with a very bad design? You think, what I'm looking at? What kind of application the guys have been made? A study shows over 88% of users uninstall the app because of the bad design. Maybe they don't understand the things. Again, take an example of WhatsApp. If you see the design of the WhatsApp, it's a very simple because they focus only on the one thing, that is a messaging. And that's why they made messaging and photo sharing so simple that even a single user can run the WhatsApp. Even the time when WhatsApp is launched, there is a lot of other chatting applications that is running. And why WhatsApp dominated the market? Because the design is so simple that even a basic user knows how to run this thing. And here I'm remembering the quote where the Steve Jobs famously said, design is not what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. Remember, user judge your app by the design. Not importantly on the design, also about how they are feeling, how they are understanding the things. And that is the only difference between a 5-star review or uninstalling the app. Thus, your mobile application with a good UX will do better things. So don't just think, right now I will make functional things okay and design is a second thing. Keep in mind, design is everything while developing your application. So now you know about your audience, your MVP, and your design. Prioritize functionality over features. Here is a myth that I heard from all the founder My friend suggested me this feature. I think this is also I attract this type of user. They think more feature is equal to better application, or they may attract more users towards their application. Wrong. You just need to focus only onto the one thing. As I'm giving an example of WhatsApp, here you see WhatsApp is only prioritized two features at the starting, that is the photo sharing and the messaging. And now you know WhatsApp is one of the biggest chatting application that we use. So ask yourself, what one thing that your app can perfectly do? Forget the extras now. That thing can be done later. Only focus about only one single thing. After focusing on the single thing and you made a so beautiful design, and now you know who is your audience and you build the MVP, and now design is okay for you. Here I'm gonna to share you the 7 secrets you know about your audience. You have been developed an MVP, you focused on design, and you know what is the most important feature that I need in my application. Testing, user testing. Imagine you spent months of developing an app. You prioritize each and everything, and at the launch day, what happened is a critical bug happened because of the testing. Maybe applications fails to run on a few other mobile phones that maybe you not tested, or maybe the application crashes. I'll tell you one thing, without testing, it will be a nightmare for you. So do a beta testing. Once the application is developed, everything is ready. Make sure do a beta testing. Doing a beta testing with your friends, with your closer ones, giving the application, and do testing on the multiple devices. That is one of the most important thing. And keep in mind, testing is not optional. Don't trust. Okay, it's working fine on mobile phone. It will also work onto the other devices also. Not. Always test onto the real devices. Ask your close users to use the application and get feedback from that. That is one of the most important thing that you need to know before the launching. And now after you tested the application, now I'm moving to the most important thing that even startups skip, that is a monitor user analytics. You know, most of the founders or startups skip this thing. They don't know what their users are doing. You need to keep an eye on each and everything what your users are doing, where they are facing difficulties, where they are clicking the most. You know, take an example of Flipkart, Amazon, a big giants. That is monitor user analytics. Monitoring user analytics is one of the most important thing, and where most of the founders don't know how to monitor the user analytics. You can use lot of tools to track the monitor analytics. You can use your heat maps, you can use Google Analytics, you can use Mixpanel, and you need to keep eye what your users are doing. You need to keep eye where they're clicking most, where they're not clicking, and then you need to improve the thing. Make sure in the today's world, data is everything. If you know what your users are doing in your application and which thing is getting back to your user, then you can take a decision and get improvements into your application. Now you know you monitor the user analytics so beautifully and your application is running smoothly. Scalability. And here I'm going to tell you, most of the startups fails at this point. You know, you develop an application, everything is right, and your application went viral overnight. And what happened? The application crashes. And why it crashed? Because you don't plan for the scalability. You didn't make your infrastructure ready for the scalable. And keep in mind one thing, application cannot be prepared for the scalability in a 1 day or 2 days. Okay, now my application is boosted, now I need to scale. You know what happened? Your users will uninstall the app if it's crashing. So for that, you need to ensure that you build the scalability from the day one, and your application must be ready even for 100 users or a million users. So that kind of infrastructure that you need to make. All right, I want to hear you from out of these 7 secrets I shared today with you, which one you think that is the most important thing, whether it's a testing or scalability or functionality or design. Let me know in the comments. I'm watching each and every comment and I'm waiting for your thoughts. I know you watched the video and you are very serious about creating an app that actually gets succeed. So I got something very special for you. I have been crafted a 40-minute free webinar for you where you learn from idea validation to developing an MVP and how to go to market and acquire a customer at a day one and launch your application to make profits. So if you want to listen to the webinar, click on the link below and get the free webinar right now.